Welcome to the Celebrate a Sister podcast. I'm your host, Emma Walkinshaw, author, body confidence coach, and founder of The Embodied Woman and 21 Minutes of Morning Magic. You'll also find me on the yoga mat hosting retreats here in Australia and internationally. Each week, I chat with incredible women around self-belief, body acceptance, and embracing who we are, especially in midlife. We share real stories, challenge outdated beauty standards, and grow together through honest conversations. I am so glad you are here. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Celebrate a Sister podcast. This week, I'm actually sharing about friendships in midlife. So I have recently returned from the beautiful India retreat with 13 incredible women. And what I noticed when I returned home was the absence of having that beautiful connection with women. And yes, I'm a person that would probably describe myself to have a lot of friends and a lot of women in my life that I'm able to reach out and connect with. But it got me thinking about the importance and the value of having really great women in your life. And also making new friends in midlife. And I shared an Instagram live the other day about a beautiful new friend that I've made. She came on the retreat and how wonderful it is that we've connected. And when you just find people that really make your heart smile and make your soul shine and evoke creativity and expansion in you, which is just wonderful. Today I'm going to share about the different kinds of friendships that we potentially have and what kind of friend are you and how are your relationships holding up in midlife now that most of us who have had children are perhaps in this beautiful little sweet spot where maybe it's just before we become grandmothers and we have raised our kids and friendships become, well, I'm going to speak from my own experience. Friendships have become increasingly at the forefront of my joy and happiness, which is wonderful. And yes, I have my gorgeous husband and he is my significant other, but how wonderful it is to have friendship. So they have done a study about friendship and they were talking about, they were talking about this in the ABC and it was from the University of Queensland that showed that women with satisfying relationships are less likely to develop chronic illness. So they'd done a whopping over 7,000 women that they studied between the age of 40, now what was the age? 45 and, I'll say it again. Australian women aged 45 to 50 over 2 decades. They studied these women and it was 7,600 of them. So that's quite a big study case. So apart from it being great for us reducing our chronic illness, friendship in midlife is incredibly joyful. So in our younger years, we often collect friendships through convenience, whether it be school or work or motherhood. But in midlife, I feel like something has shifted for me. And I've begun to crave more company, soulful connection and truths. And I feel it could be to do with because we have got a little bit more of a sense of self at this age. And maybe we've lost some of that self-criticism, maybe. So this episode is an honest exploration around friendship, the magic, the messiness, and how we evolve through it. So friendships are incredibly healing. Friendships are one of the most powerful forms of emotional support we will probably ever have in our life. I love that it helps regulate our nervous system. So when we get in, and this is a beautiful Kylie who's going to be on the podcast in a couple of weeks. We've recorded it this week, and my beautiful new dear friend, and she talks about auras mixing. We must have our auras mix, and this is how our nervous system gets regulated. It also boosts our mood, and it just gives us meaning. It really does. So yes, often in midlife, and I've spoken about this, you've heard me talk about this, we're often navigating grief. And I spoke last week about the grief of life changes, the kids moving out and my nieces and nephews not being around. So it's a real identity shift. And I talked about that last week. And then being seen by other women in the thick of this time of grief and growing. Our midlife women really see us. They really hear us. They really feel us. They hold us. And that is, as for me, has been profoundly healing. If I think about getting through this grief with the kids moving out, being able to share with my friends, as well as my gorgeous husband, but I'm just talking about friends here, sharing with my beautiful friends has really got me through. It really has. So I'd like to share with you the kinds of friends I've been working through. A little journal prompt. It's actually my 365 Days of Morning Magic. It's a journal prompt that asks us about friendship. And I've been using my book as like a little bit of an oracle lately, where I just flip it open on a page and there is my journal prompt for the day and my meditation. And it was about friendships. And I was thinking about what kind of friends and relationships I have in my life. So I jotted some down. So I wanted to share with you. So I guess we need to normalize the fact that not every friend has to be everything. And we often have a mix of friends, and we are also a mix. What I could be to one friend, I'm something to somebody else. And that's beautiful. I think it's really healthy and it's beautiful. And as I share with you the types of friends that I have, you may be thinking of your own friendships and who's a bit of a mix and a combo, and maybe who you are in each other's lives. So the first one that I want to share with you is the soul sister friend. So this is a friend that you can be fully raw and real with her. She sees your heart and she also knows your spirit and just loves you who you are. So I feel like the soul sister friendship is deeply raw and real. And in the soul sister friendship, you can actually call each other out on your BS in a really loving way. And I love that about the soul sister friendships that I have in my life. I can be carrying on like a pork chop, and my soul sister friends will go, no, disagree. You are being, and a friend will say, yep, you're being childish, you're being immature. I think you can see that from a different angle. And I do appreciate that. I do love that about my soul sister friends. Then we all have our lifelong friends. So you've grown up together, you've maybe drifted apart but come back together, and you've got history together. Like there's heaps of layers there. Like I have a few lifelong friends that I've known from a very, very young age. And no matter what, we just are always there for each other. And I love that about our lifelong friends, that history. You have stories and they've watched every part of you evolve and grow. And I have a beautiful lifelong friend, and her husband always rolls his eyes when I say this to her. It's because I just see her with so much love. And it is my gorgeous friend, Sylvia. And every time I see her, I go, oh my gosh, Sylv, I could just put you back in our Bacchus Marsh High uniform and you just look the same. And her husband always like rolls his eyes and goes, oh my God. But when I see her, I think because I've known her from such a young age, I still see her in our Bacchus Marsh High School uniform. It just makes he like goes, oh my God. But we do laugh, and she laughs at me, but because she hasn't changed. She's got the most beautiful skin, and she's just, to me, I will just always visualize her in our school uniform. Then we have the friend that is the cheerleader. She is your hype woman. She's always reminding you of your worth, celebrating your wins and lifting you up. Don't we love the cheerleader friend? She's that one that no matter what, she's very optimistic, and you can do this. You're going to be fine. Let's go. Let's celebrate. Love that. I have some friends that have a combination. They've got a lot of cheerleader in them, which I just love. Then there is our growth friend, the one who challenges you to expand. She holds you accountable, often like says really crack your heart open comments, or maybe even in a way kind of stretches you to think more, be more, do more. So she really holds you accountable. It's lovingly calling you forward and inspires you to rise. So I do love my friends that call me to grow. Then there is the situational friend. Now, for those of you who have got teens or early 20s, this is like what is it called now? They call it a situationship, where people just like hook up, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the situational friend. So I think of these friends that I've had over the years and they're the friends who are kind of specific to the season of life. Like maybe you work together and you have this really great bond, but it's situational. You've come together for work, but you remember them really, really fondly because you worked with them, like a work friend. Maybe even when your kids are at school, you have situational friends that your kids have gone to the same school or they've been in the same grade or they've been friends. And for that time of your life, they're great friends to have. Or also activities that you do, or maybe you went on a retreat or you went through like a course or study and they were your friend at that time. Or I also think of this situational friend as maybe even a neighbor. You know how you have a neighbor that you live next to and you go, oh, they're such a great neighbor, but it's like a situational friend. It's like a friendship though, but it's still meaningful. It just has a different feel around it. Then the next friendship that I started to explore was the practical companion. She's your logistics woman. She's logistics queen. You get things done together. So she's very practical. Appointments, errands, pickups, and there's a real warmth in it and there's a real rhythm. Maybe like the situational friend, the practical companion. Could be that person as well. The practical companion too might even be the person that you meet at the gym or you walk together regularly. You have this companionship, but they also hold you accountable to get things done. Then, of course, there is our fun friend. Your fun friend is light, easy. I have a couple of fun friends, which I really love. Belly laugh with them. They're spontaneous, they're lighthearted, they bring you joy, and they're just really light. There's a lightness to them. And not to mistaken it with they're not deep, but there is a real lightness. They're your joyful friend, which I really, really appreciate. They're fun to have in a room with you because they're light and joyful. So thinking about these group of women, who's in your inner circle right now? Which friendships are filling your cup? Is there any gaps? Is there any gaps here going, oh gosh, maybe I need a fun friend or maybe I need a situational friend? Or it might have you thinking now, perhaps there is a friend in this time of life that you could make a little bit more of an effort. Maybe you do go, oh, let's walk together or let's meet at yoga together. Whatever that is, it's great to have these different flavors of friends and put some time and energy into it because it's worth it. I also wanted to cover the dynamic of having family that are friends. And this is off the back of one of my dear, dear cousins, Cousin Laurie. I talk about her all the time. You probably all feel like you know her. So my darling cousin Laurie, we are family. Yes, we are. But I really feel like we've chosen each other. So yes, it matters that that we are blood, but we've also really, really chosen each other. So I think cousins have this beautifulness. They know your history. They've seen you grow up. They care for you deeply, but there's just this beautiful mutual respect and there's an emotional deep connection there because of family. So I love the fact that our cousins can become our friends. Now, what about daughters? I have quite a few friends who their daughters are a really great friend of theirs. To be perfectly honest, Ruby and I are not friends. We are mother and daughter. And I've always been really, really firm around that. And to be honest, Ruby's never needed that and I've never needed that. I've always had my own friends and my own peers and she's always had her own friends. And I've always maintained I am your mother first and friends second perhaps. But I know some women who have a really close relationship with their daughters and I think it is absolutely beautiful. I think that is such a gorgeous, gorgeous relationship to have. And don't get me wrong, I love and adore my Ruby girl more than anything on the planet. But she is my daughter. I have a best friend, she has a best friend, and together I can stay in that place because I know that sometimes what can happen is that mothers can potentially overshare. And I know from time to time my mum has kind of overshared things with me about my dad, and it's not been the right place or time because mum is my mum. She's not my friend. She's to share that with her friends. So for the beautiful mummies out there who have gorgeous relationships with their daughter, how beautiful. But I guess I'm going to speak from my perspective, being a daughter that a mother has from time to time overshared, and I haven't felt so good about it. So knowing that, yes, we can have this beautiful relationship, but I guess first and foremost, I like to think I'm a mother first, but it doesn't mean that you can't have this beautiful, deeply sacred relationship with your beautiful daughter. So that is my other little thoughts and feelings about having family as friends. Oh, and the other thing I do want to touch on was sisters, but I actually don't have a sister, so I don't really feel like I can speak to that, but I know that there are beautiful sisters out there who have become best mates too, and I would love to hear from actually any women whose sisters are their best mates. I don't think I know anyone, but so I don't really feel like I can speak about it. But yeah, family definitely can become friends without a doubt. The other thing that I wanted to share about friendships is when jealousy creeps in. And what is jealousy in friendships? What is it really telling us? I think jealousy in friendships is more common than we like to admit. It's not a sign of being a bad person. It's more a mirror, I feel like. And maybe the jealousy comes in because you feel left behind. Maybe a friend is kind of heading in a different direction and you felt left behind, or maybe you felt like you're not enough. Maybe your friend is having success or making new connections and you just don't quite feel enough. And there is different kinds of jealousy in friendships. And I do laugh because one of my dearest friends, if I get a new friend, she goes, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? You've got a new friend. Who is this new friend?" And like, we laugh about it. But there's different kinds of jealousy that might show up. So there's the achievement jealousy, when perhaps someone goes, "Oh, everything works out for her and nothing's working out for me." Often that can happen. There is the social jealousy. Why wasn't I invited? I hear that quite a bit. I coach a lot of women, and sometimes women will feel really, really upset if they weren't invited to something. And it's a great opportunity just for us to sit with that and go, it's okay for us all to have our own friends. And at some point, we're going to potentially upset someone because we didn't invite them. That is really, really tricky. So I'm not sure I have the answer for you, but what I do want to share with you is each one of our friends is a unique individual and we don't own them. We're here to connect with them. And it's okay. It's okay if you do feel a little bit jealous, because I think it's really normal and you're human. The relationship jealousy is also when we feel like our friend got a new friend and you're being replaced. That can be hard. Also, the comparison jealousy. And I think as women, as humans, we do compare, often thinking, she looks so confident, I wish I felt like that. Looking at a best friend and going, gosh, or a friend, she's so confident, why can't I feel like that? Jealousy is a cue to come back to yourself. What is it asking from you? Maybe it's a deep desire for you to feel seen and feel heard. And maybe we are looking for love in all the wrong places. Maybe it's about coming back home and saying, why is it that I'm feeling really uncomfortable? And jealousy is a really harsh word. I feel like it's really harsh. Maybe it's envy. I feel a little bit envious, or maybe I'm really, really happy for her, but I can't help but feel, what about me? And I love what Denise Duffield Thomas says. She always says, what does she say? I think she says there's more than enough to go around, or good things are happening for me too. good things are happening for me too. So it's worth just noticing if we do feel this little bit of jealousy rise in us. And it's okay to even share that with your friend. You know, I really, really love and adore you. You might say to her, I really, really love and adore you, but oh gosh, I'm feeling a little bit jealous, or I'm feeling like you're replacing me, or I'm feeling a little bit left out. It's okay to say that, because you can shift from comparison to celebration, and you can move from jealousy to inspiration, and you can even have that beautiful compassionate and self-awareness and be kind to yourself when these feelings come up, because you are human. The other thing that I wanted to also share with you that I'm sure has happened to you, when your friendships fade, no longer fit, and dare I say it, you have a friendship breakup, which I'm pretty sure it's happened to most of us, without a doubt. So sometimes friendships expire, not because anyone did anything wrong, just because we change, like we do change. You may even find yourself shrinking around certain friends, or simply feeling exhausted by the dynamic. And let's be fair, we have all had times in our life where someone has felt quite draining. And it could be because they're going through something in their life at the moment, and it's really exhausting to keep hearing the same story. But we have all, and probably will all, be in a situation where we feel we need to share over and over and over again a situation we're in. I'd like to say it doesn't happen, but it does. And this is where our compassion comes in. There's a couple of ways we often deal with the fade out of a friend or a no longer fit. And yes, of course, we can have a conversation with them. Not always easy, but you could. There's also the slow fade out, that it's just like a conscious uncoupling in a way, where it's just a quiet letting go. You know, the conversations become less, the phone calls, the catch-ups just become less. And I feel a healthy thing, or a helpful thing to do, is if you are to bump into them, to not say, hey, let's catch up, when you know you don't want to. It's okay to say, so lovely to see you. Great to see you doing really well. And, you know, not good luck and goodbye, but so lovely to see you. We don't need to do that to ourselves. It's okay to close a chapter. Not all friendships are meant to last forever. They're just not. And that doesn't make them any less meaningful. It's like, you know, I mentioned earlier, the friend that you used to live next door to, or the friend that you used to work with, or maybe you lived in the same town and you've moved on. It's okay to have different friends at different times. We don't have to collect them. It's okay for them just to breeze in and breeze out. And I think that's a beautiful thing about social media now. One of the good things about social media is you can still remain friends on the Facebooker, or the Instagram, on the Grammy, or whatever it is. And you can still kind of feel like you're seeing their life and admire from afar, and send a little comment here and there. But you don't have to see them all the time. There's still this connection there, which is beautiful. Now, what about deepening the friendships you already have? If you have some people in your life and some friends in your life that absolutely are like sunshine to your soul and make you feel inspired and happy and joyful, it's lovely to keep this friendship alive, because a relationship is a two-way street. So if you feel like a friendship is worth keeping and growing it, how can you cultivate more depth? How can you cultivate more depth? I think regular catch-ups. I love a good voice note. Like, I love when my girlfriends send me a voice note, because it feels like having a conversation, even if we don't get to each other's voice note for a bit. I've got a beautiful friend. If she listens to this, she's going to laugh. She sent me a voice note the other day. It was literally a goddamn podcast. She sent me a 17-minute voice note, and I took notes, and then I responded. But you know what? I absolutely love when she does that. I don't think any of her voice notes are under 8 minutes, and I love that about her. I absolutely love it. So my dear friend Alison, if you're listening to this, I love when you do that to me, for me, with me. You are brilliant. So yes, voice note walks, shared experiences that help anchor our connections is wonderful. So even just gathering women and doing some fun things that just have you laughing and enjoying things. So tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, is my morning that I meet my gorgeous KT at the ocean and we go for a swim. And I met her this morning for a coffee and I showed her on my boob right now I have a bruise because when we went swimming and skin off my toe and my knee, because when we went swimming last week, we went to a very dangerous part of the seaway, which we did laugh. And she's going, do you think we should do this? I said, oh God, yeah, we'll be fine. We jumped in and look, we both got punched up by the ocean and slammed into rocks and bars, but you know what? We laugh about it, and I love feeling alive. So I quite enjoyed a bit of risk and a bit of adventure in this midlife time. It all gets a bit safe and boring, doesn't it? So yes, so deepening friendships. What is it all about? It is about honest conversations. And even just saying to a friend, if you're missing a friend, saying to her, hey, I want to see you more. Let's lock something in. Let's really make an effort here because it is healthy for us. It's great for us to keep catching up. It's really easy to put things off. But is it? Because at the end of the day, relationships are the most important thing in our life. Really great friendships, when it's all said and done, is what it's all about, I believe. So real friendship allows for growth, change, repair, and rupture. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. So I want to talk about this repair and rupture. My dearest friend, we have had some rupture and we have been friends since we've been 18 and we've had some serious rupture where the friendship could have gone south. It could have been broken up, never to be seen again. However, because we have a depth and a vulnerability and a mutual love and respect for each other and really value each other, I feel like we had enough. What does Brene Brown say? She talks about putting pebbles in the jar, and in friendship, this is her analogy. In friendship, you put all these pebbles in the jar. Each time you do something for each other, or there's a kindness or a care or a connection, a marble goes into the jar, or a rock or a marble goes into the jar. But every now and again, when there is a bit of rupture, some marbles get taken out. And the idea is that it can never be depleted, that there's no more marbles or no more pebbles in the jar. So if I think about my dearest friend, we've absolutely had times where a huge load of marbles or pebbles were taken out of our friendship jar, and time and then vulnerability and care and patience and listening to each other's point of view got us through that. And you've heard me say it before, I believe, I would rather play it deep than play it shallow. So we have definitely ruptured and repaired quite a few times. And in actual fact, that's the depth of a relationship, isn't it? Whether it be your significant other, if you can't allow there to be a rupture and then a repair, it's a very superficial friendship. So whenever your friendship goes into this mode and there is some hurt or distress or rupture, it's perfectly normal and it's okay. I guess I ask you the question, do you want to continue to be friends with this beautiful person because it's okay to go back with your tail between your legs? I have, and say, I'm sorry, that wasn't me at my best. And I really wish I hadn't have said that, but I did. And then for them to say the same thing and then to come back, and maybe you just have different views and ideas, but if it's worth fighting for it, fight for it. Because how do we grow? How does a stone ever become smooth unless we're rubbed the wrong way? We actually have to have some rupture to repair and deepen that friendship. So that's from my own experience. So what creates real depth in a friendship? What creates it? I think it's emotional safety, knowing that you can be real and still be loved, that you can actually show your flaws and still be loved. Mutual vulnerability, being open, goes both ways. Both of you are as open. There's not a secretiveness or a superior, inferior. Oh, that happened to you. Well, that's never happened to me. None of that business. It's absolute going, oh gosh, honey, I'm feeling for you. Gosh, I know how that feels. I felt silly or upset or whatever it is, but that mutual respect and vulnerability. Also being fully present. I think that's the thing, is being fully present with someone and not performing, not pretending, not ticking a box. Oh yeah, caught up with the friends, but just being absolutely really present with them. And in that presence, it's okay for there to be silence, right? It's okay for there to be silence. So shared values and experiences that aligns to what matters. Trust is also really important. Trust is a big one for me, actually. Like it is for everyone. But I think it's trust that what you share stays with that person and doesn't go any further. True friendship depth. I'll say that again. True friendship depth isn't about constant contact. It's about consistent emotional presence. I absolutely believe that. It's about consistent emotional presence without a doubt. So depth is definitely creating spaces where we feel safe and seen without a mask, without a doubt. So I think that has been definitely my experience in my friendships, about being able to drop the mask and just be seen and heard as I am. So building your own circle of friends, how do we do this? Because like I just mentioned, maybe you have moved to a new area, maybe you've outgrown some friendships, maybe you'd like to have a new expanded version of friends. Maybe like I know when I became a yoga teacher, my friendships kind of shifted and changed because I had this beautiful place of like-minded women who love yoga as well. And one of my dear friends, I met her at yoga 10 years ago. We're on the mat beside each other, used to go to yoga and, being great friends ever since. So building your own circle, how do you do it? I think many of us find people through, like I mentioned, yoga classes, maybe even women's workshops, even retreats. And like I said at the start of this conversation, the retreat that Yogi Louie and I hosted in India in March, the relationships and friendships that were born out of that is just nothing short of incredible. And just this Sunday, we all gathered, or most of us, not all of us could make it, gathered. And just to see those women, oh my gosh, my heart was bursting. Like because we'd gone through some transformation and we'd gone through to another part of the world, had gone to India together, it really creates that back to the trust and reliance and care of each other. When women get together, and I'm sure men do too, but when we get together and we're in a different environment, we really, really care about each other. We really, really hold each other in safety and respect and honor. And that was exactly what it felt like in India. So if you want to expand your friendships, of course, come and join Yogi Louie on a retreat. We actually have the retreat happening in November to Kerala, south of India. It is going to be beautiful Ayurvedic treatments and tranquility. I've got to say tranquility with the T on the end, TEA. We're going to go and see some beautiful tea plantations. We have yoga, we have meditation, we have workshops. We have connection. You don't have to be in yoga to come to these retreats, but they are phenomenal. And then in March 2026, we will do the Golden Triangle again, North India. In October, I have New Zealand, only open to 5 women though. So if you are keen on that, let me know. And then I have happening on the 7th of May, the Embodied Woman Workshop. So it's an 8-week workshop online. So it's actually online on Zoom. And I'll also say about workshops together, even though this one is online, the connections that are made, because the way I run this workshop, you actually do have time to spend one-on-one with women in the group. So you're meeting like-minded women who are connecting. And again, this situational friendship that is born that then, I've had women that have gone, oh my God, we're both at the same retreat. So building community to me is just phenomenal. It really is. So for the woman out there that says, how do I find my people in midlife? Or maybe I've just moved here, or how do I connect? Come on a retreat. Join a workshop if that's your thing. Get to yoga class without a doubt. So building your circle is a beautiful thing. So when we gather with intention, it creates a fertile ground for connection. And that's exactly what retreat is, what the Embodied Woman Workshop is, what yoga class is. It really is fertile ground for connection. The intention is there. It's beautiful. So don't wait to be chosen. You can create your own circle. Absolutely, you can. You can be the person that invites You can be first. You absolutely can. Even if you are shy and a little bit introverted, there are plenty of women out there who are wanting to connect. So please do it. And it's never too late. You're not too much and you're not alone. So definitely go forth and do it, my darlings. So thinking about friendships, a beautiful little reflection for yourself. What kind of friend are you? Where potentially can you lift your game? What are you craving? Who would you like to connect with? It's a beautiful thing to really list out your friends and think about, who haven't I caught up with lately? Who can I reach out to? It is a beautiful thing to be first, to actually gather the women and say, hey, let's all gather, let's go out for dinner, let's do coffee, let's have a walk, let's have a swim in the ocean, whatever your thing is. So I invite you, my darling, to be the one in the friendship group that gathers everyone. And I often laugh at that beautiful meme that I often see, which is when you'll see a group of women and they're like in their really elderly age and they go, when finally the friendship group got out of the chat and actually went on the holiday together. Don't let that be you. Don't wait till you're old. Create little micro gatherings every now and again. My mum actually has been wonderful for this. She has still got the same friends that she had when she was, I think she was 20 or 19 or 20. Maybe she was younger. Maybe she was 18. I still know her friends. She has got Vicky, Cheryl, and Marilyn. They are all incredibly close. They have done lots of travel. I remember when she was 40, they went to America and then they went to Singapore, and then they've done heaps of stuff together, and they're still really great mates. And I reckon about twice a year or 3 times a year, because Marilyn and Cheryl live in Victoria and Vicky, mum's other friend, lives in Brisbane. They will get together a couple of times a year and they talk all the time on the phone, which is just beautiful. So my invitation to you, my darling, is, who do you need to reach out in your friendship circle? Or if you are feeling like you would like to make some new friends or connect with like-minded people, definitely join me on the Embodied Me workshop. Come on a retreat, even just reach out. If you live on the Gold Coast, reach out. You're always welcome to come to yoga with me or come for a beautiful ocean swim or a coffee. I'm always down for that. So reach out, my darling. Go forth, have a gorgeous evening or day, whatever it is for you, and know that friendships are definitely one of the most beautiful gifts we could ever have. Thanks for listening, my love. The Embodied Woman Workshop. Are you ready to reclaim your confidence, gain more clarity, and of course, energy in midlife? I have got a beautiful invitation for you, my friend. I'm about to start the powerful 8-week journey for midlife women who are ready to reconnect with their body, calm their mind, and trust themselves again. Learning beautiful, intuitive processes, starting to heal that relationship with ourselves, letting go of that inner critic. Also gathering with other women, like-minded women who love to have a laugh, have real conversations and connect. This beautiful workshop starts on May the 7th and goes for 8 weeks. So if you are ready to take the next step and join me, come along. There is a link in the show notes. And if you'd love to reach out and have a chat about this workshop, please do. More than happy to answer any questions. I look forward to seeing you in the Embodied Woman Workshop.